And we're talking about AI, artificial intelligence, and its role in customer service. We have all experienced this. You know, you call up a customer service line, you need assistance, you need help, and you get the please hold for the next available agent. In some cases, you do get an agent. In some cases, it just times you out and there's no way to do it. There's also some chats now where you can get involved in chat conversations with bots. Getting a live human, though, I think is still the preferred way. Anyway, we're going to talk about this with Richard Weylman. He's the chairman of Weylman Consulting. Good morning, Richard. Thanks for joining us.
Nice to hear your voice. Thanks for having me, Don.
Tell me, Richard, about your business. I think it's remarkable that, you know, you've been able to design a company centered around keeping clients using customer service. It's so important, customer service, and I think so many businesses overlook how significant and how important it is to be successful.
Well, you're right, Don, and it's a real challenge today, particularly with, you mentioned AI at the opening. From the standpoint of our business, many years ago, I was involved for years in the automotive business, lots of other things, the publishing business, et cetera. And it began to occur to me, and I began to speak about how to build businesses and retain customers for life. But as a consulting firm, we do a great deal of research in the marketplace. We talk to consumers, and we ask them, what does it take? What are you looking for when you interface with a firm, whether it's a hairdresser, a doctor, whether it's a financial advisor, whomever it might be? What are you looking for from people and from the people in those companies? And what we began to realize is good service is a minimum expectation today. Today, I mean, you know, if you go to McDonald's and the fries are cold, you're hopeful that if you say, hey, my fries are cold, I'm going to give you hot fries. So what's happened is today people are focused on the experience they're having. And because everything's so commoditized, if I don't get a great experience when I come into your restaurant or I get my hair done or I go to the dentist or people are rude to me or it's difficult to get you on the phone and get an answer, I'm simply going to change providers. And we've got lots of examples of that going on right now in this country where people are saying, I'm fed up at yelling representative into the phone. I'm going to find somebody that has somebody that's going to take care of me when I call in. So that's the shift we've seen in the business world. And I speak all over the world on this topic because there's no doubt today that relationships drive revenue and customer experience solidifies that relationship.
You know, it's interesting, some of the surveys, what they're showing now that, you know, preferring humans versus the bots. 55% said they preferred a human. I thought that was kind of low.
Well, I did too. It's interesting you mentioned that. It seemed low to me until I began to realize that what some companies, some, key word here, some companies are doing is shall we say, the not so complicated questions like what time is my flight going to be coming in, or can you tell me how much it costs to go from Albuquerque to Phoenix, as an example, or New Orleans to Dallas. They can use a bot to be able to, let's call it AI, but they can use an AI to quickly answer those questions for people, and that cuts down on the wait time of individuals. Now, Amazon has really figured it out. They had a record quarter, and what they've done is he's integrated AI, but when you call into the customer service department, they'll ask you, you know, what you're wanting to ask about. And let's say you push, I want to know the status of my order. Boom, you push that button number 2, you're going right to an AI bot. That individual is going to recognize your voice, and that individual, as they call it in Amazon, is going to give you the answer. So a customer service rep doesn't need to be involved there at all. So that saves a lot of time. But people are becoming aware of that oftentimes when you're calling in for a simple question, AI is really good at the simple questions, giving you very quick answers, whereas the individual, maybe not so much.
Yeah, well, for speed, I guess if it saves time, then the majority of people would rather the bot. What about the one where you get what is called the phone tree, where it tells you push 1 for this, push 2 for that, 3 for this, and it goes on and on. All of a sudden, wait, there's nothing that applies to my question. Now where do I go?
That's exactly right. Push 5 if you're angry. That's usually where we all ought to start.
That's right.
The reality is that these phone trees is very old technology. And, you know, it's essentially how do we replace a receptionist? How do we replace an operator? And a classic example is American Airlines. They've just laid off 650 people in the customer service department, and they're replacing it with AI. And all of our test marketing against that, clients that we're working with in the transportation space that have used American, they say the experience is horrible. Why? Because the old-fashioned phone tree, they can't get to, let's say, a topic, we'll use that word, that applies to the situation I have. This is going to be an unmitigated disaster for them. Not that they don't already have a lot of issues, but the reality is the old phone tree, it doesn't even use, in many cases, voice recognition. You have to push a button. If you were to say into an AI-enabled phone tree, let's say I called your number down and I said, I want to get the status of what time you're going to be doing the weather on the radio. Instantly, AI can recognize your voice recognition software, can immediately recognize that and give you the answer instead of putting push. 1, if you want to know the topic today. 2, if you'd like to know the weather. 3, if you'd like to see how Don's doing today.
Gotcha.
4, that's the difference. So these companies using the old phone trees are way behind the curve, and they make it harder for you and I as consumers to interface with them.
Absolutely. Richard, we got to take a break here for traffic. When we come back, I want to talk about the chats that you do with the bots. Also, how popular are YouTube videos? Do people like those? And finally, get your recommendation to businesses. If they see the temptation to eliminate payroll by installing robots into their customer service, will that pay off for them, or should there be some type of a happy medium that you would suggest as a customer service expert? And good morning. I'm Don Dubuque, filling in for Tommy Tucker on the First News Show, and with us is Richard Weylman. Richard is the chairman of Weylman Consulting, a company that specializes in customer service. We've been talking about the role that artificial intelligence is playing and will play in the future in customer service. Richard, how popular are these chatbots where you go on for assistance and it'll say, hi, I'm so-and-so, what's your question, what can I do for you, and there's kind of an interaction there. How successful and popular have those been?
Well, initially, Don, they were not very popular at all. I mean, people thought them a novelty. It was great. But what the challenge was, if you didn't phrase your question exactly right, or God help you if you misspelled a word, it wouldn't recognize that your question, and you get dumped off into all kinds of crazy answers that really had nothing to do with you, and it was very difficult to use. It's improved immensely, and AI has been a very powerful tool behind that now, because now it anticipates the question. When you start to type in, think about when you go on Google, you type in a question, basically you're asking for information. And what AI has done is really help the bots, the chatbots, if you will, be more reactive, to be able to give you correct answers and to guide you. And they're really good. They're really good for, let's call it situations that are pretty commonplace. Quick access to information, streamlining processes. Fabulous bots are good for that. When you get into more complex things like in retail or hospitality or healthcare, then you really need that human to be able to help process your question or the needs that you have.
Richard, on technical assistance, there's too many to read. I'm getting texts in from the listeners about how popular YouTube is. You can become an auto mechanic, you can become a plumber, almost anything you want to do, and it's explained in some pretty good terms there. I've often used it. How popular is YouTube, and should more companies incorporate that into their customer service?
Yeah, absolutely, Don. And what today is, people are so used to going on YouTube to, I need to figure out how to fold this, how to cut that, how to do this. It really has become an educational channel for people. Yes, there's entertainment there. Let's not be, throw that aside. And people love the entertainment factor. But in reality, you can go on YouTube and people have monetized their creativeness, their handy. If they're a handy person, he or she can go on there and do a YouTube video and get tremendous followings. So companies should start to realize that instead of just talking about their product, they can demonstrate, not just talk straight, and they can demonstrate by putting it on YouTube, tying it into their website. So when I go there and I want to find out about a particular situation, maybe it's a travel site, I can go there. Instead of looking at static pictures, I could click a YouTube video that's on there for less than a minute, give me a tremendous experience of understanding how my family would really enjoy this location. YouTube is a fabulous tool that I think too many companies just miss. Video is powerful, and people like video, and YouTube brings that right into their device.
Agreed. You know, Richard, back in my first life, I worked for 15 years for Sears Roebuck in its heyday, and I think they were the inventors of customer service. It was satisfaction guaranteed or your money back, and they stood behind that, and I think that's what made the company become so successful before their demise. Some of the companies today I deal with, and more so because of their customer service than price or any other reason, Centerwell Pharmacy, I can pick up the phone and get someone that takes my account information and handles my problem immediately. USA Insurance, and Chewy, the pet company. Those three have humans that you can call on an 800 number anytime and get your information. What is your suggestion or recommendation for companies that are looking to put AI into their customer service plans?
Well, two things. One, you're exactly right. In fact, Discover, the credit card, is now running ads that when you call Discover, you don't get a bot, you don't get AI, you get a human being. So they have seen this, shall we say, pushback that AI is going to be the ultimate answer, as American Airlines has done with firing 650 customer service people. The answer is what Amazon has done and what Chewy has done and others that you mentioned. What happens is if I call in, let's take Amazon as an example. If I call into Amazon and I talk to a customer service rep, the advantage I have is that customer service rep is also being assisted by AI at that very same time. So when I ask this rep, if you were a rep, Don, I'd say, Don, I want to get a sense of, where my order is, and I've got some stuff I need to return. It's coming right up on the screen in front of them, and AI is selecting some of the answers they can give you to cut down the customer service time, and they've trained the reps how to work alongside AI to use it as a tool to solve problems. That's the direction that companies should be thinking about is, okay, AI is really good for the simple, for the frequently asked questions, but for the complex questions, then what I need is a human interaction, that human touch, if you will. But that could be assisted by AI by suggesting right on the screen various answers that individual could take. You got to train people, but it's a game changer when you do it, and that's what Discover has done. Chewy, you're a classic example. They have built a tremendous brand by personal interaction and a personal touch. Do they use AI? Absolutely, they use AI. When you say, "Where's my order?" She's not, or he's not. Well, let me look and see and putting. No, you say, "This is Don DeWick, and I'm looking for my order, and it was supposed to be shipped here to Metairie, and I haven't got it yet." By the time you get that said, your order's up on the screen.
Got it. Sounds like
exactly what it is.
A good combination is the way to go. Rich, I wish we had more time. It's a very interesting topic and one that will go on and on. AI's role in customer service, and thanks so much for being with us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Don. It's a pleasure to be with you this morning. Have a great day.